Hey, what's up, YouTube? Once again, it's me, Eli Johnson, and my intrepid companions, Boss Horatio Rothschild Godfrey, also known as I put my face right in the camera because I got nothing better to do because I'm so handsome. Also known as the dog who doesn't realize he's not a puppy anymore, and then he weighs 65 to 70 pounds, and he's trying to sit in somebody's lap, big as his ass is. And Patricia Teresa Cakes. And I'd like to welcome you guys to my 100th video. And I'm just sitting out here in the park, the same park I found Patty in around close to around this time last year. And I think this is March. I think this is when I made my first video, like March or something like that. I don't know. I gotta look it up, but I know this is like my 100th video. And I usually make maybe one a month because I got a lot to do. Do a lot of work, doing a lot of work around the house and stuff, and working period. And I was just checking my vids out, and I was like, I'll make a series of vids, like 3 or 4 a day sometime, and I might make another for a month. So here's a video from the park, at the park where we found Patty at. We just finished eating at Keys Nose. I like Keys Nose because they let you take a chair outside and eat with your dog. Take a chair on a table outside, eat with the mutts, and people come by. They're very, as long as the dogs don't piss and shit everywhere, which I let my dogs at the park, so they'll let them at the park, so they'll big ass head right in the camera, so that they can pee and doodle. Boss is just blocking the camera off. He just sitting in my lap because he's a little tense right now because he's done something he wasn't supposed to do, and he got yelled at. He got popped on the butt, so he's like, "I'm gonna hug up on you." And well, anyway, I'm rambling. This 100th video, but I bought some new glasses because I broke my old ones because Patty got me. Patty pulled my glasses off the counter, off the dresser in the house, right? She pulled them off the dresser in the house, and she walking around with them in her mouth. And it was dark, and I heard her with something in her mouth, and I couldn't figure out what it was. Because every time I called her, she'd drop it. So I went to sleep. Woke up the next day, got my big ass out of bed, and guess what? I stepped right on my glasses and broke them. So I had to get me another pair. Actually, I have 2 pair. I got 1 pair coming next week, and I have this pair, my hiking, camping, back and forth to work pair. So now I got 2 pair, and I got 1 pair in case I want to go someplace nice, respectable. But let's say something. Looking for these glasses reminded me of something. This is a very, very, very feminized society, and it's really difficult to find a place for guys like me, the regular working class guy, who wants a regular vehicle. I got a regular house. I needed to buy some stuff for the house, so I spent a little bit of money. I bought some plants, I bought some seeds. I got like 400 pounds of topsoil, put in my front yard, my backyard. I'm gonna have to go get another 400 pounds probably next Wednesday. Let that settle in first, soak it down real good. Try to get some good grass growing in. And I got my little raggedy pickup truck that got a little house that I can fix that's nice. Got a little raggedy pickup truck. Everything's durable. Everything's made to be used. Stuff like this, just like regular blue collar duct tape, make it last, cheap and durable stuff. Cheap, but fairly cheap, but very well made and very durable. But I couldn't hardly find. It took me like 2 hours to find some glasses. Just to find some glasses that a guy is supposed to wear. Everything's all spiky and colored and brownish and gold and flashy. I'm like, man, what man is gonna wear some glasses like this? But these were glasses that were designed for men. I'm like, what man wears glasses with glitter and shit on them, man? Glitter? I'm a guy. I'm 40 years old. What am I doing walking around with glitter glasses? I had my insurance, so the whole thing didn't cost but $20. But had to buy some other pair of glasses, the pair I just showed you for $40, so I can get me some glasses like 3 days later. But man, that was just fucking rich. Good girl. And I'm just looking at, like, as time goes on, I spend more and more time doing stuff. I was reading some of my old philosophy books, and I was trying to, Eric Frankel's Man's Search for Ultimate Meaning, and I was looking at it, and I was like, when I was younger, this was some really, really deep stuff to me. It meant a whole lot to me. Now it's like nothing. It's not gonna put a roof over my head. It's not gonna put food on my table. It's not gonna make me any money, improve my health, or I just read some old philosophy books. They didn't mean as much to me anymore. And I can still read The Prince. I can still read Beowulf. I can still read Xenophon. I can still read Herodotus. The stuff that's not practical and applicable, I don't want it anymore. If I don't want anything flashy, if it's not practical, it's not applicable, if it doesn't have more than one use, I don't want it. I have no use for astrology. I like folklore. Makes more sense to me than some of the so-called science. The astrology and all that. Philosophy just doesn't work for me no more. I guess I'm getting older, getting cynical. I went to buy some, like I said, my glasses, everything's like real metrosexual, all gold and glittery, not well made. Like, man, why would somebody spend money on something that's gold and glittery and it's not tough? It's gonna break. I'd spend extra money on glasses that were like shatterproof or something like that. But like, God darn, men actually wear gold glittery glasses with gold rims and flowers on them and shit, but apparently they do. I thought we were out of the metrosexual period, and we're in a recession right now. And I don't, I guess it's good because I'm slowly becoming more self-sufficient, more realistic, and just focusing on things. I'm rambling a bit, because I'm just chopping up game. Well, just talking to y'all. I ain't chopping up game because I ain't got no game. But I have very little use for anything that's not practical and applicable. I think my faith is practical and applicable, because a lot of what the Bible says about human nature and about the way the world works is true. All of it is true. Especially about human nature, the nature of men, the nature of women, the nature of relationships and stuff. Like I said, like folklore and legends is more important. To me, it works out better than philosophy and all this stuff that actually, like Machiavelli said, if all men were good, Plato's Republic, stuff that Socrates wrote about government and human nature would work, but all men aren't good. All men are bad. So it doesn't work. And I wonder, man, what's going to happen to guys like me? I won't say I'm an outsider. I just say what about people who like things that function? I see the guys in their 50s and 60s who like things that function, who are practical, who like things that are practical and applicable. I repeat that a lot. Practical and useful. You know what I mean? Stuff that actually works. The beauty in something is in its function, not its aesthetics. You know what I'm saying? When you look at a wrench, right, or a crowbar, I see something beautiful. A crowbar is a tool that can be used for a lot of things. A lot of things. Just think about it. A lot of things. A hammer, a nail, that's beautiful to me because it's functional. The beauty is in its function, in its aesthetics, and in its usefulness, in its utility. The beauty is in the utility and the functionality, not the aesthetics. As opposed to a t-shirt, You give me a t-shirt that costs $40 or a good hammer, and I'm more impressed with the hammer. You know what I'm saying? You give me show me a show dog that costs $1,200, $1,300, $1,500, a puppy, and it grows up to be able to do nothing but stand still and look very good. I think that's an ugly dog. I think it's a worthless dog as opposed to these two dogs. Boss and Patty, keeping animals out of my campsite, good to play with, very useful, very good shape. Boss is 7 years old. Someone was just complimenting him today. Some older gentleman was telling me about how much muscle Boss has and how big his head was and how he was just like one big muscle. Like, yeah, it's pretty good for a 7-year-old dog. He's a senior dog now. stop talking every so often because someone's walking by. I don't know nobody hearing what I'm saying, but just wonder what does that leave a place for us? And we are actually seeing, in my opinion, what happens when you live in a world where people don't want things that are practical and applicable. You know, people wanted a so-called thug, a so-called gangster, a so-called outlaw. Now we have all these broken homes because these men aren't good fathers. The things that a man should be picked for his strength, his resourcefulness, his intelligence, his ability to provide for a family, you know, no one wanted that for about 25, 30 years. And we're suffering because of it. You know, young men are suffering, young women are suffering, you know. Well, most of the young women are suffering, but they really don't know it yet. They usually don't know it till they're in their 40s. It's just too late then. They really don't know how much trouble they're in until they hit their 40s. And they realize that Sex in the City stuff is not going to happen. But at this point in time, I think as a society, from my opinion as a guy who's just some blue-collar guy on YouTube who works with heavy equipment, it's a regular guy with a regular job, I think that we as a whole need to get back to worrying about things that are practical, applicable, and useful. Trying to find things that are cheap but fairly well made, you know, instead of something that costs a whole lot of money that is actually not actually very poorly made. And that's the purpose of this video. You know, my leash costs 15 bucks, very tough, helps me control my 2 dogs. Both these collars cost me 12, 13, 14 bucks. They're more expensive collars, but they weren't as practical, they weren't as useful, they weren't tough. They couldn't take the wear and tear. We bought things before at my job where I said, well, you know, everything that comes through here has to be designed for repeated heavy use, because that's what people do here. They work here, and everything they can't deal with repeated heavy use. You know, keep it simple, stupid, like some people say, KISS, keep it simple, stupid, just doesn't work. So, just saying, in my little old funky video, 100 video, give me advice. Practical, applicable, useful, durable, long-lasting, cheap, but well-made. That's what you need to be looking for everything. Low maintenance, high utility. You dig what I'm saying? In dogs, in cars, in relationships, in women. That's what I'm looking for right now. I think that's what I've been looking for my whole life. I actually had people with other ideas about what needs to be done, and actually threw me off track. But now that I'm 37, I hope it's not too late for me to get back on track. But I think I am in the right direction. I got 2 fairly durable dogs here. Didn't cost me any money. Boss cost me $120. Patty, got Patty for free. Her surgery cost me $1,400, but that was all to the good. Didn't mean nothing. It's gonna save me money in the long run, because I don't want no puppies. I don't want no dogs walking around looking like my dogs. I don't want my dog walking around no broke leg. I got him rescued. I got a killer. What the fuck is that? You know what I mean? I had the money for it. No, I can't judge nobody. Some folks ain't got that. Because I had a dog break his leg, and I couldn't have the money to get it fixed, and I had to get him put to sleep. And that really hurt my heart. You know, so when Patty hurt hers, man, I had the money for it. I said, I'm gonna get it, man. Because I still think about that dog about once a week. I think about him. But, practical and applicable, durable and useful, man. And if it's not durable and useful, if it's not practical and applicable, if it only has one way of using it, if it's limited, don't get it. Don't invest in it. In men, women, relationships, politics, dogs, homes, anything. It has got to be useful. It has got to be durable. It's got to be practical. It has to have a lot of utility. If not, don't even invest in it. If it's flaky, if it just looks good, it's not practical, it's not applicable, don't even buy it. Don't even think about buying it. That's my 100 video. Remember, utility, durability, practical, useful. Peace.